Welcome to FBHS Legacy Voices, the podcast where we celebrate the people who have shaped the history of our school, Fuquay Varina High School. Today we're joined by Denise Weeks, a proud member of the class of 1973. Since graduation, she has gone on to serve as the North Carolina House Principal Clerk, continuing the legacy of excellence that began right here on our campus. We're excited to revisit school memories and hear how her journey has shaped both her life and our community. So, welcome, Denise.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're here with us. So, I'd like to ask you, opening up, what path did you take after graduating Fuquay Varina High School?
Well, I attended NC State University for a few years. I did not complete my degree, but then I went to work with the North Carolina House of Representatives.
What accomplishment are you most proud of?
Well, I was elected the principal clerk of the House for 12 terms,
Wow,
a total of 24 years.
unbelievable.
I actually worked for the House for 31 years. And when the House was tied 60 Democrats and 60 Republicans, I presided over the House for a week until they elected two speakers, one from each party.
That is fascinating. Oh my goodness.
That was fascinating.
I was gonna say, you can say, I actually presided over the house,
I did.
and you came from Fuquay Varina High School. I would definitely be proud of that accomplishment for sure. What's one funny memory or favorite memory that you have from Fuquay?
Well, when I was in high school, we could not leave campus for lunch. And I grew up in Willow Springs, so obviously I could not go home for lunch. And I skipped lunch one day with three of my friends who lived very close to the school. And actually, I was the only one that should have been suspended. But two of the other three had not had a note on file in the office,
Oh no.
even though they'd been going home for lunch for most of the year. So when we all got caught, three of us got expelled.
Oh no.
But our math teacher, Mr. Hamilton, he was a great teacher. He announced in class that because some of his students, your fellow classmates, were not going to be there for the quiz the next day, he postponed it so we wouldn't get a zero.
Oh my goodness. So kind of a subversive sign of support there for you.
Exactly.
Didn't damage your academic career, even better. So, was there a teacher or a class or activity here on campus that you think helped to shape you?
Well, I served on the student council and I served as a parliamentarian.
Oh, wow.
And little did I know at the time that I would go on to serve as the parliamentary advisor to the speaker in my career as the House principal clerk.
Yeah. Wow. Parliamentary procedure in action. See, you can use it too, friends. How has Fuquay Varina High School and Fuquay changed, or maybe there's a way it stayed the same for you since your time here? I mean, you've seen the new campus, and I'm sure there's a lot that's different, but maybe what what are your thoughts?
Well, it's a beautiful new campus. I'm so impressed with the size of it and the growth in this area. Well, as I said, I grew up in Willow Springs and I cannot believe the growth in the area.
Yeah.
I went to first through the 8th grade in Willow Springs. Back then, we went to first through 8th in school there, and then we came to Fuquay to high school.
Oh, wow.
And I never would have thought that Willow Springs would now have its own high school.
I know. I know, it's kinda shocking. They are a crosstown rival, but, they are still part of Fuquay, and they have many of our families that we share, so we wish them well. But, yeah, who would have thought you would have had one there?
I know.
So, we're looking towards the community, and one of the reasons we wanted you here is to kind of celebrate, how many students have gone on to impact our community. How are you involved in the community now?
I now live in Raleigh, but I drive back to Fuquay to volunteer at the museum at least usually once a month, maybe sometimes a little more.
That's awesome.
But I do enjoy volunteering at the Fuquay museums.
Yeah. I think, without people who have grown up in the area to kind of explain what's in that building and in all those artifacts, it would mean very little. I mean, you need the story, you need the personal view. So thank you for sharing your knowledge with others. So, what inspired you to give back or even just to get involved?
Shirley Simmons.
Shirley's the best.
And really her commitment to the museums.
Right.
She attended our class reunion, and we invited her and several other teachers to come, and at our class reunion, she said, "You need to volunteer." And I said, "Well, what do I need to do, Shirley?" Well, I called her Miss Simmons, of course. But anyway, she got me involved.
So, Denise, because some of our listeners may not know who Shirley Simmons is, and hopefully we'll have our own podcast dedicated to her, um, can you explain to them how you would know Shirley?
Shirley was a teacher for I do not know how many years either. Everybody that went to Fuquay knew
Yeah.
Miss Simmons and had Miss Simmons as a teacher. She was the advisor to, I believe it was student council. She was social studies teacher. Yeah. Just one of the best.
So, what you're saying is your old teacher told you you still had to serve and not get graded for it. That's right. That's right. How do you see the values and lessons you learned at the HS reflected in your community and in your civic leadership?
Well, when I was in school, I served in leadership roles in various clubs, and I received the I Dare You award
Really?
when I was a senior. I don't even know if they still
No, I've never
have
heard of
that.
it. Can you explain it a little bit?
It was I ran across the book recently, and obviously I did not do what the book said. I was supposed to read the book and then pass it along, and since I still have it, I didn't pass it along. But I was recognized, um, for leadership potential, and
There
that was what the I Dare You was to make a difference
That's
in
pretty amazing.
leadership.
That's pretty amazing at the time too, to think that they singled you out, and look, you actually served.
2 students, um, received the award.
Oh, wow.
2 seniors.
What an honor. So
Yeah,
you never know what your leadership starting here will result in your future.
that's right.
Mm. Is there a project or a program or something, or maybe even an initiative you're especially proud of contributing to?
Well, through the museums, I have, worked on the displays for the 50th anniversary here at the school. Um, the museum has some artifacts on loan.
Right.
We started with, the Consolidated School and the Fuquay Falcons. We did a display back in the fall, and then over the Christmas break, came over and swapped those out to when the school became the Bengal Tigers.
I love that. The students had been commenting about they didn't and some of them are new to our community and don't know the history, and having that visual was really important to them. So I heard a lot of comments about, "Did you see the old yearbooks? How do we get a hold of those?" Or, "What was that about a bison?" And so they learned a lot, through those displays. How do you see the values or lessons you learned at the HS reflected in your own work today?
Well, I'm not sure I told you I'm retired now. Um, I'm actually back in at school at NC State.
You're kidding me. Go Wolfpack.
But I have a strong sense of community. I am very active in my church. Our neighborhood has a monthly food drive. I like to help and give back.
Yeah, you haven't forgotten your ties here, and that
No.
shows. Yeah, that definitely shows. So these are some fun questions I get to ask at the end, and I'm very curious. So if you could walk the halls of FBHS now, what advice would you give to either the students or staff, based on your experience?
Well, to the teachers, I would say leadership is so vitally important. Set good examples, build strong relationships. And I had some very good role models as teachers here at Pequay in my time in high school, and they had an impact on my life. And to the students, don't be afraid to be a leader. Take responsibility seriously. no matter what your job is, even if it's mundane and not always glamorous, it's your job, and you should do the very best you can.
Oh, I love
And most importantly, find what you really wanna do. Find what you're passionate about and be curious about it.
And then the best part of all, if you could describe Fuquay-Varina High School, our school, in one word, what would it be and why?
Memorable.
Why?
It is certainly memorable. My days in high school were some of the best. I made long-lasting friendships with students and teachers, and I have fond memories of homecoming, weekends. We would build the floats and, we had the parades and the ball games, the dances, and there was a real sense of a community connection.
I would say that. Well, thank you, Denise. We appreciate you coming out, and I want to thank the listeners for your time. We hope that you'll tune in to FVHS Legacy Voices and stay tuned for some more alumni stories.
Thank you for having me.